A gram of practice weighs tons of theory. So as much as we can speak and study and fiddle around with the Sanskrit words and try to find a better translation and so on, none of the tantric wisdom is considered by the tantrics meaningful if it is not put into practice. Basically, this little moment that we will have now is the conclusion of this lecture. And it is so wonderfully put in a quote that is attributed to the Tantrasara, which is basically a summary, an essentialized synthesis of the Tantraloka. So both of these texts that I spoke about are from and attributed to Abhinavagupta. The Tantraloka, think of it as the big encyclopedia that your grandparents or maybe even parents had as these big leather-bound books, 20 of them on their shelf. This would be the Tantraloka. Now the Tantrasara that we'll be quoting from now, basically he even says it, Abhinavagupta says it himself, I think in the second verse of the Tantrasara, he says, look, I know the Tantraloka is long and complicated and for scholars, so now I will speak in simple language for those of you who need it more essentialized. And then he gives these 22 chapters of the much shorter chapters of the Tantrasara, which are much more straightforward and easy to understand. They are written in a way so that more lay people, even though he's also giving initiation into how to give initiation to someone who's already dead, so it is still quite high. But still, he considered this much more simplistic somehow. The 22 chapters are filled with a variety of very straight to the point instructions, both to, again, understand the theory and cosmology, and in the same time to have instructions for work with the body, energy work, meditation, and so forth. Also some instructions to do tantric magic and rituals and the alike. Now, we wanted to give you this final quote as it is somehow a wonderful reminder of what it means to study the scriptures in a tantric context. We could sum up, I will give you a nicer, bigger tantric quote in a moment, but we could basically sum up in this one of these common sense wisdoms that you find throughout a variety of cultures and traditions, which simply says, a gram of practice weighs tons of theory. So as much as we can speak and study and fiddle around with the Sanskrit words and try to find a better translation and so on, none of the tantric wisdom is considered by the tantrics meaningful if it is not put into practice. Therefore it says in the Tantrasara like this: above those who don't know are those who listen, hear and read. Above those who listen, hear and read are those who memorize. Above those who memorize are those who understand. Above those who understand are those who apply. Above those who apply are those who get results. Above those who get results are those who attain success, get considerable results and paranormal powers, or what we call siddhis. Above those who attain success and get paranormal powers are those who reach extraordinary superior levels of consciousness. And above those who reach extraordinary superior levels of consciousness are those who reach the higher self, or the Atman, getting the wisdom by which everything becomes possible. Basically, these lines are a description of the entirety of the path. It is as simple as that. Listen, hear, read, memorize, understand, apply, get results, get even bigger results, obtain superior levels of consciousness, and reveal the self. And from there, everything's possible. You'll be fully liberated in that way. So we want to leave you somehow with this little note that Tantra so much insists upon, that it is all wonderful to know and to read, and much better we know and read from the original sources or proper scholastic commentary upon those texts than of some 3rd, 4th, 5th, 20th generation, completely diluting the original message. All of this is very wonderful, but far beyond that is the practice, is the actual application of what we are reading, what we are finding out about this wonderful universe. For this, one of the modern, let's say, tantric lyrical texts is this wonderful sharing of Daniel Odier, the Tantric Quest. It is not a scripture, but he basically writes the oral transmissions of his master Devi, a female master, who gives a lot of transmissions about all of these points that we have been finding in these profound scriptures from thousands of years ago, and puts it into a framework that is not diluted and yet very easy to understand. So I encourage you to, at least if you refer to younger texts, refer to texts that deal with the ancient scriptures. And nevertheless, one of the first things that Devi, the master, does when she meets Daniel Odier, he says he has this text of the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra and he's very proud about it and so forth, and she snatches it from him and looks into it and says, this is fake, this is not at all, has nothing to do with Tantra. You were cheated when somebody sold you this book. And then she starts to actually make him experience these aspects that are discussed within these scriptures, making it clear that scripture is absolutely necessary, but it only has value when it is applied in profound practice and experience. So with this, we hope to have inspired you to put your nose into these ancient texts and get yourself inspired by the profoundness and great detail that they actually operate with. And in the same time, hopefully have inspired you to start applying some of these things that you might be reading. And in this way, obtain what is called the Bauddha Jnana, the perfect knowledge, which for sure will lead to liberation. Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content on spirituality, Tantra, and more.
And if you want to sign up for our online classes or for our retreats, you can see our website on the description below.